The place where you manage your SI5 product data is called the Manage My Product Data Interface, or MMPD for short. There are many places throughout the software where you can launch the MMPD interface, but you can always get to it via the Tools menu along the top here. So just go and select Manage My Product Data. And the interface will open. It is a floating window out here separate from the primary interface. I'll go ahead and expand that full screen. And what you're looking at here, the first tab is the Product Grid tab. And you'll see a list of manufacturers over here on the left-hand side. This is just the sample data that ships with SI5. All of the sample projects that we provided, we took the data from those and, of course, added those to the database so we can actually build those projects. And that's all this is. It's just a sample data for you to look at. You can certainly delete all this data if you want to start from scratch. You're certainly going to have to reprice this stuff if you decide to keep the products that we actually used, if you happen to sell those products, because all of the pricing in our examples, is just sample pricing. So, just for the purpose of the sample projects. Now, what you're going to want to do in here is, of course, add products you actually sell. If you're evaluating our software, or if you've just purchased the software, you might want to start off with, creating a small project that you may have done recently or one that you have pending. The best place to start adding data would be the Download tab right here. Here you can browse our list of available products to download, either via the download tree or the product download search. Two different interfaces here. They're both looking at exactly the same data. And this allows you to download data from us, from D-Tools, down to your local machine. And then, of course, you can manage it locally, either via the Product Grid tab or the Product Explorer tab. And when I say manage it, I mean you're going to set your pricing, you're going to verify the number of hours on it, so it charges the proper labor when it's added to a project. We'll start off here, take a look at the download tree. Over on the left-hand side here, you'll see a list of all the manufacturers that we have in D-Tools that are available for download. When you're using the trial, you're only going to have access to download these gold manufacturers. Those are partners of ours, part of our MVP program. The gray manufacturers require data subscription, and that's a service we offer when you do purchase SI5. We highly recommend that you keep your database nice and small. So having said that, it's not a good idea to check the box next to a manufacturer's name. It's better to expand the list and then take a look at the categories here. We categorize all products in SI5. I'll go ahead and expand this list here, and you'll see a list of the model numbers available for download. And so in this list, you can check the individual parts that you want to download, and then simply hit the download button over here. And those products will be brought down locally to your machine. You can then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, manage those under the Product Grid tab. If you prefer to search for products, you can close out of the download tree interface and open up the product download search. This actually opens in a separate window and will allow you to search our SI5 database. You can set your criteria out here as far as preferences go on what fields you want to search for, and then you can select the products and download those via the download button. Now, you are not required to download data from us, but it does give you a good head start on your database. You can certainly manually input your own products. You can do that either on the Product Grid tab or the Product Explorer tab. If I go here to the Product Grid tab, there is a Add Product button here along the top. So if you click that, it's going to open a form that you can then fill in to create a product in SI5. To familiarize yourself with all the fields of an SI5 product, we recommend that you do take a look at some of the sample data out here. In this example, I'll scroll down here and I'll filter to Panasonic, and as you can see, we just have one part because that's all that was used in the sample projects. I'll double click the product to open the specs on this. So you've got the fields that are required are the manufacturer, the model, and the category. The type field is optional, but you may want to enter that as, think of that as a subcategory here to further identify this part. You could definitely want to add a description here. The product description here isn't meant for internal use, and it will print on the client reports if there's nothing filled in down here. But the client description is intended for a longer description, if you would, that would print on the client reports, more detail perhaps for your clients. Of course, there's a JPEG image field here. You can drag and drop into this field, or you can download parts and hit the add button here to add that a JPEG image. Now, the next tab is the price tab, and this is about as far as you need to go for proposal-ready data. If you're just looking to get a proposal out of the software and you're not really heading towards doing drawings right immediately, you could stop at the price tab here. And really what the software is looking for out here is a unit cost and a unit price. We do have 3 levels of pricing per product. In this case, I've named mine Retail, Builder, and then Custom. You can name yours whatever you want under the Setup tab. You don't have to use all 3 certainly either. Just, if you're going to fill in one, fill in the top default here. What the unit cost you, what you sell it for. And also notice here that there is a phase assigned to this and a number of hours. And again, this is how the labor is being charged. It's going to charge half an hour of the finish phase's rate. So once you've entered this information up to this point, again, that's proposal ready data. Now, if you wanted to use this device on Visio drawing pages or AutoCAD drawing pages, depending on the page type, you might want to add some more information out here. Just real quickly, I'll show you the specifications tab. The height and the width field come into play on elevation pages. We scale the shapes based on the height and width to give you an accurate representation for building, like a rack elevation. And down here you have the inputs and outputs for the device. So the IO Studio down here, this button, will allow you to modify that. And again, that's if you're going to be doing schematic drawings. Each one of these will have a connection point on the shapes and blocks over in Visio and AutoCAD on the schematic pages. And once you've entered your information, go ahead and save the product. There's a save button just off screen here, down at the bottom there. You hit save, and you essentially, that's how you would add a new product. You can fill in those fields, the appropriate ones for your purposes, and start working within the software.